Hi, welcome to Your Great Journey. Each week, we offer you brief tips, techniques, and insights to help you move in positive directions and master big change. For more information, please visit yourgreatjourney.com.
Your Great Journey is brought to you by audiobook publisher Wetware Media. Wetware Media publishes a wide variety of personal transformation audiobooks available from any major online audiobook retailer. For more information, please visit wetwaremedia.com. That's WETWAREMEDIA.com.
After a lifetime studying the world's wisdom traditions and exploring the deep awake state, Tim Freke has created a fresh approach to spirituality for the 21st century. Today he presents an inspiring talk about the deep awake state, which offers what he calls an engaged sensual enlivenment. Tim offers deep awake retreats all over the world, where he guides participants directly to the deep awake state. These playful, immersive retreats help participants access the feeling of oneness and profound love that arises in the deep awake state. Tim has upcoming retreats in the US and the UK. For details, please visit his website, timfreke.com. That's TIMFREKE.com. In this episode, Tim encourages us to embrace our humanness and break through old either-or thinking. His inspiring perspective sets us free to experience a new way of thinking and a new spiritual paradigm. We hope you enjoy Tim's great sense of humor and profound love of life.
Life is like a dream. It's certainly the message I hear from all the spiritual traditions of the world. And before we just dismiss it as mystical mumbo-jumbo, it's the same thing I hear from some of the greatest scientists, people like Schrödinger, James Jean, Sir Arthur Eddington, Max Planck, quantum physicist, Nobel Prize winner. Max has this to say. He says, we do not... This is a quantum physicist. What can you say? We do not belong to this material world that science constructs for us. We are not inside, we are outside, he says. We are spectators. And then he says, the reason that we think we are inside, that we are in the picture, is because our bodies are in the picture. Wow! Isn't that very cool? We seem like we're in this because our bodies are in this. Fantastic, they are. Like a dream. But we are outside. We have no form. Life is a dream. This can really help us understand the deep awake state. It can help us understand why in the deep awake state there is this profound experience of oneness and also of love. Think about dreaming. When you dream at night, you seem like you're one person in a dream world full of other dream people. But when you dream lucidly, you see that you are the dreamer and you are one with the whole dream. It is all you. Here, you're just one amongst many. It's all separate. Here, it's all one. Which is true? It's both true. Have a look now. Here, I see myself one amongst many. And then, as the formless presence, I am one with all of this dream of life. And that experience of being both separate and not separate, that's love. Love is how that experience of oneness feels to the separate self. It's like when you love someone, isn't this what happens? You kind of reach through the separateness and you commune as one. So you're separate and you're not separate. And that feels like love. Well, what happens when you find out that you're separate and not separate from everything and everyone? There's this big, all-encompassing love for everything and everyone. This unreasonable, unfathomable, unconditional communion and compassion. And that leads me to the most important idea for me. What really matters in life is love. I run these, what I call mystery experience retreats. I run them all over the world. We have all ages, all types, such diversity of people come. And we go into this mystery experience, and I guide people to this deep awake state. And there is no greater joy than seeing people's faces when they experience this big love. And when they commune with each other, all these disparate people communing in this deep love. And this knowledge arising, oh, what really matters is love. This wordless knowing. But this love, it's not just a sweet feeling. It is a sweet feeling. Geez, it's the sweetest, sweetest feeling I know. But it's not just a sweet feeling. It is also something deep and solid and strong. A little while back, my dad died. And for 6 months after a stroke, he was lying in this bed and he could move one arm. And he would lie there and he would go, "Help me, help me." It was hell. I hated it. I would have done anything in my power to change that situation. And this deep awake did not take that suffering away. It was still hell. But what it did do was it brought something to it as well. Not instead, but as well. So that this situation didn't consume us, but rather became poignant, bittersweet. This love made it bittersweet. It was both awful and strangely it was also okay at the same time, which made it almost beautiful. And at times we would meet in that magic in ways that we probably could never have done in any other situation. And it seems to me that in those really raw places of life, those places of suffering, of ugliness, that philosophical ideas, they're no use. Ideas fall from your mouth like bricks. What's needed is something deeper. Which is why it seems to me eventually all of this philosophical speculation has to resolve, of course, into its opposite, which is something not thought but felt. Something too deep for words. This natural knowing. I'm reminded of the line from John Lennon when he sings, "Love is the answer, and you know that for sure." I just love that second line, the audacity of that line. You know that for sure. And I think we do. I think if we look inside and we go deep enough, we know that. And this love is not something for oneself. It is, but it's also, by its very nature, something which we give. It's something which we share. So for me, this paralogical awakening is about both loving being and being loving. It's not some disembodied enlightenment in which we shun the world. It's an engaged, sensual enlivenment in which we give ourselves to the world. We know ourselves, so we can show ourselves. Self-realization, self-expression. And this brings me to the last idea that I want to share with you. This deep awake state is available to everyone, including you. I have an extremely good success rate at my retreats, at taking people to the deep awake, to the big love. Why? Because most old traditional approaches are either or. And it makes it really hard because it goes, you could experience this, but frankly, you're not good enough. If you want the deep self, if you want this, you've got to get rid of this ego thing. If you want the oneness, you've got to get rid of the separateness. If you want this deep peace, no more passions. Because what stands between you and the realization of your divinity is your humanity. I hate that idea so much. I hate it because it sets up this civil war inside us between the two poles of our nature. A war we can't possibly win because we are both. So this paralogical approach says no, says look, embrace being the separate individual human self, and from that foundation just wake up to this as well, not instead, but as well, because you are already both. And when you get that, this waking up is easy and it's natural and it's there for anyone. Because look, you're sassy, streetwise people, you can see me. I have not turned into some egoless, perfected, super realized uber being. I'm just Tim. But what has happened on this mad trip I've been on is that I have come to see the paradox of my nature. So I can see, I am both this formless presence, which is one with everything, and this particular form, this quirky human being called Tim, who's vulnerable and slightly wounded. We are all great souls, and we are all our souls. That's it. Once we can just get that, then something special can happen. Then we can just be what we are now and wake up to this, and then from this big love, we can love this. Just as it is. And then this magic can happen where we can come together and we can connect authentically as all that we are in the humility of being human and the wonder of being one.
Thanks for listening to this talk by Tim Freke, best-selling author of Deep Awake, Wake Up to Oneness and Celebrate Your Individuality and Soul Story, Evolution and the Purpose of Life. Tim has upcoming events in the US and the UK. For details, please visit his website, timfreke.com. That's TIMFREKE.com.
Your Great Journey is brought to you by audiobook publisher Wetware Media. Wetware Media publishes a wide variety of personal transformation audiobooks available from any major online audiobook retailer. For more information, please visit wetwaremedia.com. That's WETWAREMEDIA.com.